Do you know who will truly stand by you when you're old and everything changes? It's a question that most people don't stop to ask until it's already too late. In our younger years, we gather people, acquaintances, co-workers, neighbors, classmates, and we often assume that many of them will still be around when we need them most. But time has a way of revealing the truth. As we grow older, the circle gets smaller, and what matters most isn't how many friends you have, but which ones still show up, listen closely, and care deeply. In this video, we're going to explore the 4 types of friends you can truly rely on in your later years. These are the friendships that go beyond small talk and surface pleasantries. They are the ones that bring comfort in silence, strength during hardship, and joy on the ordinary days. And perhaps more importantly, we'll also shed light on why some people, though they may be familiar, aren't the kind of friends you should count on when life gets hard. So, if you've ever wondered who really belongs in your life moving forward, stay tuned. Because by the end of this video, you might see your relationships in a whole new light, and you may even be inspired to invest more deeply in the ones that truly matter. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Let's begin. Number 1, a friend who listens without judgment. There's something sacred about being listened to, really listened to, without interruption, correction, or quiet disapproval. And yet, that kind of listening is rare, especially in old age, when people are quick to assume they've heard your stories before or think they know better. That's why one of the most valuable friends you can have is someone who offers their presence without trying to fix, critique, or steer the conversation. Just a steady, quiet listener who respects your voice and makes room for your truth. Let me tell you about Irene, a 79-year-old woman who had grown used to nods and polite smiles whenever she tried to share something that mattered to her. Her adult children often cut her off mid-sentence. Neighbors were friendly, but always in a rush. It wasn't until she reconnected with an old friend named Grace, a woman she hadn't spoken to in over 2 decades, that she realized how deeply she missed being heard. Over coffee, Grace simply listened. No phone distractions, no advice, just full attention. And Irene said afterward that it was the first time in years she felt like her words actually landed somewhere. The older we get, the more we carry stories, regrets, hopes, grief, and sometimes all we need is a witness, not someone to analyze or respond, but someone to sit across from us and nod with understanding. When you find that kind of friend, one who doesn't rush you, who lets the silence stretch without discomfort, you've found something rare. Research in psychology confirms that feeling truly heard reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and even improves cognitive health. But beyond the science, it simply brings peace. Because when someone listens without judgment, they're not just hearing your words, they're saying, you still matter, your voice still matters, and that's something we all need, especially in a world that moves faster every day, where seniors often feel left behind or spoken over. A friend who listens becomes a mirror, reflecting not just your words, but your worth. They remind you that you're not invisible, not outdated, not irrelevant. But here's what's just as important. You must be that kind of friend too. Be the one who listens, who puts down the phone, who asks follow-up questions, not out of politeness, but because you actually want to understand. That kind of presence has power, more than most people realize. Because in the end, when life gets quieter and the world gets smaller, few things feel more comforting than knowing someone will still sit with you, listen fully, and make space for all the things you need to say. Number 2, a friend who checks in. Consistently, there's something quietly powerful about a person who remembers to check in, not just on birthdays, not just when there's news, but in the ordinary rhythm of life. A quick call, a brief message, a visit without an agenda. These gestures may seem small, but for someone in their later years, they can mean the difference between feeling remembered and feeling forgotten. Take Samuel, a 74-year-old man whose days had grown quieter since retiring and moving to a smaller town. His neighbors were kind but distant, and his adult children lived several states away. Most days, he kept busy with hobbies and errands, but the evenings felt long. It wasn't until his old fishing buddy, Earl, began calling every Sunday afternoon, just to talk, that Samuel felt his week had structure again. They didn't discuss anything earth-shattering. They swapped jokes, talked about the weather, shared memories of past trips, but that simple check-in became a lifeline. What makes a consistent friend so rare is that they don't wait for something to be wrong. They don't only show up when drama or crisis calls. They show up because they care. And that kind of regular presence builds trust, something that becomes more precious with age. As we get older, life has a way of shrinking. Social circles narrow. Health can limit mobility. Old routines fall away. And that's why friends who initiate contact without being asked, without needing a reason, stand out. They are the ones who say, "You're still on my mind," without needing to say it outright. Consistent connection supports emotional health. Studies have shown that older adults who have steady social contact are significantly less likely to experience depression, cognitive decline, or feelings of worthlessness. But even more importantly, it creates a rhythm, a dependable beat in the background of your week, something to expect, to prepare for, to look forward to. If you have a friend like that, someone who keeps showing up, you already know the comfort it brings. But if you don't, you can be the one to start. Set a reminder. Choose one day each week. Call someone. Message someone. Make it a ritual, not because you have to, but because you know how it feels to be remembered. Because when someone takes the time to check in, especially when there's nothing dramatic going on, it sends a quiet message that echoes louder than most words. You still matter. You're still seen. And you're still worth making time for. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. These are the friendships that hold us together when everything else seems to be falling apart. So take a moment to think, who are your for? Who has consistently shown up in your life? Not just when things were light and easy, but also when they were hard and unclear. And perhaps even more importantly, who are you being that kind of friend to? Because friendship in old age isn't about nostalgia. It's about mutual care. It's about being present, being real, and being steady. The years ahead can be deeply meaningful, even beautiful, but not because of the number of people around you. It's because of the strength of a few true connections, the ones you can count on, the ones who make you feel seen, valued, and never alone. So choose wisely, and once you've found your people, hold them close, because the right friendships don't just comfort you, they preserve your dignity, nurture your spirit, and remind you that no matter your age, you are still deeply loved. Closing. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.